You are listening to Love, Light, Lonnie, the podcast. I'm Lonnie Nishiyama, and join me as we discover the gifts that live within all of us and how these gifts bring us together to love, help others, inspire, and of course, vibrate higher. Welcome to Love, Light, Lonnie. Hi, everyone. I'm Lonnie, and it's another podcast with me. Yay. I actually wanted to talk about food today. And originally I was like, I'm totally going to make a recipe and show everyone. And then I'm like, wait a minute. These microphones for podcasting are so sensitive that if I start chopping and cooking, you'll just be like, I can't hear anything. And then it made me start thinking about food in the way of like listening to food and tasting food and eating it. And maybe you guys could experience it through my senses. And then I was like, wait a minute. This like totally took me in a whole different direction spiritually. And I'm like, how do my senses relate to my spirituality? And how does my spirituality relate to food? And blah, 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 blah. So here we are, and I'm going to get into it. Today, we're talking about food. And I've tried to listen to other podcasts about food, and it was really interesting, more informative and fun. Mine is a little different today. I'm going to kind of focus on why food brings us all together and why it also feeds the soul and how it can be an amazing joy in life and how it can bring some challenges in life. So, I obviously love food. I did some food shows in the past. I've grown up in a food family. We are obsessed with food and have, we own some food stuff companies. But I also just loved food for the fact that it always brought people together. No matter what, you could have the worst day of your life. You could be fighting with your friend, your mother, whoever. But when you sit down at a dinner table and enjoy something super delicious and maybe even a glass of wine if you're over 21, it does something and it really brings people together. And you realize when people are eating good food that they are happy and they're not yelling at each other. Sometimes it becomes silent even, but I love it. And I always believed, and I've said this before, that if we could bring all the world leaders together at a dinner table and feed them the best food that they all love, maybe there would be some world peace. Not sure. I'm always trying to go for world peace. I don't know why, but we're trying, I actually love food because of the fact that we celebrate it and bring people together. But I like to make my food with love always. I don't care if I'm making brownies that have millions of calories in it or I'm making a delicious, healthy salad with something lean in it. I always make it with love and I put that intention into my food. And I don't think I'm the best chef at all. I actually don't think I'm the greatest cook. I just think that when you do that and have that intention, people feel it when they eat it. It's energy. So with my kids, they think I'm like the best cook. I'm making spam musubi and they're like, this is the best spam musubi in the world. I know it's not, but that's how I think the intention and the energy works. I also believe that people always say, I prefer my mom's home cooking or she is the best, chili or brownies or whatever. And that's because your mom makes you food with love and that intention. And so you always remember that love for the food. And it goes into a memory bank and every time you eat that food, it reminds you of that love. And so that's where it really comes from, I think, that saying. But also, food can also bring some negativity as well. So it's not just being overweight or anything, but I think food can be an addiction. I struggled with it growing up. I would either be binge eating because I was unhappy and I just wanted to eat the sweets, eat the candy, or I was so insecure with my body image that I would be like almost not starving myself. I never went that extreme, but I definitely had issues with food and I would like ration myself when I really shouldn't have. I'm a healthy person as long as you work out and I think that you take care of yourself, take your supplements, whatever you do. I think that you can do everything in moderation and balance. Like have your brownie, but then eat your salad later. I believe also that food is so cool because it really plays to the senses. You taste it, you smell it, You hear it as it's being prepared. You can feel it, you can touch it. It plays to all the senses. But one of the senses that we don't talk about a lot is the sixth sense, the scary sense. Your intuition, actually. I'm not saying like seeing dead people, but and some of us do, but it's like more about the sixth sense of um, your intuition and being connected to yourself spiritually. And I believe food has a big part in this because food will also, impact your life. I mean, spirituality is very related to food. And if you're not spiritually happy, then it can impact the addictions. It can impact the food and the way that you intake it or the way you control it and all of that. And so, really feeding your soul is important. That soul is what keeps you going. It's like who you are. Your spirituality is everything. It doesn't mean spirituality in the sense of like necessarily religion or what you believe in, but just who you are in your soul, what you stand for, what your heart believes in, and that's the intuition. Like you can walk into a room and see someone and be like, that person does not like me, and I can feel it, but that's energy. They did not even look at you, they didn't do anything, but you can feel that. And so energy is completely real. And that's why I believe feeding the energy in your body is important. And I know that part of our challenge as humans is to come here and figure it out with food because I think food and love are actually related. I actually heard recently on another podcast that love controls all. And I fully believe that actually. You come here and you want everyone to love you, whether it's your family members, your friends, your neighbors, your dog, yourself, which is the most important thing. Loving yourself is the most important thing. If you don't love who you are, and I don't mean like you have to stare in the mirror and be like, hey, I love you today. You're so amazing, Lonnie. Like, no, that's weird. It just means know what you deserve. Know what you're worth. Know how you should be treated and know how you should treat yourself. Because it's not about what we look like on the outside. It's about loving yourself. And it's something I'm still, again, working on every moment of my life. I'm so passionate about this right now that I'm literally sweating. Um, so I hope you guys are following along with me. And if not, this is probably one of my craziest out there podcasts I've ever done. And I've only done 6, so not that crazy. But it's important to me. And I see it on a daily basis where people don't love themselves. And if I can just learn to practice this every day, doesn't mean I'm going to perfect it. But if I practice this every single day until my last breath, then I know that there's going to be good in the world. Because loving myself and not having to seek it from others is what is going to help me spread love. I know that sounds crazy. If I love myself, I can spread love. If I don't love myself, I can't give it to anyone. I'm just going to try to take it from everyone else. So who cares if the person that you love or you're attracted to loves you back? Who cares if your parents show you the love or they don't? At the end of the day, love yourself. That's all that matters. That's what fills your cup up. That's what will make you successful. That's what will make you happy. And that's all we're looking for because success is just happiness. It's not necessarily money or anything. It's happiness. And we can't be happy all the time. I know that. I ask Spirit all the time, why can't we just be happy all the time? Why do I have to have like see killings and like people hurting each other and like starvation and little children dying or having no parents? Like it really like bothers me at times. I get very emotional about it, but I always hear it's because we have to learn to love ourselves. And it's also because without this hardship, we wouldn't learn nothing and we wouldn't even know what love is. So we have to go through it. But how cool is it for the people that work on themselves and love themselves? When you work on yourself every day, that is better than just sitting in your misery, being depressed, and wallowing over your life. You were given this life of difficulty because all of us have difficulties. All of us have challenges and issues growing up and even now and every single day because we're supposed to learn things. If you're not learning, then you're not growing, then you're not self-loving. And that's that. So don't be the other people. Try to be the lovey people. And that's all. I don't know how I went from food to love, but I did it. Have a great day.